The Galactic Council chamber fell silent as Kinsley clutched her worn canvas bag tighter to her chest. Tears streamed down her face, leaving wet trails on her dirt-smudged cheeks. Around her, representatives from a dozen alien species watched with varying degrees of curiosity and impatience. "Human child," Commander Vraxis rumbled, his scales shimmering in the chamber's artificial light. The Dragon Warrior stood nearly 3 meters tall, his muscular form a testament to countless battles across the galaxy. His species, the Draconians, had ruled the Outer Rim territories for millennia. Protocol demands inspection of all personal items before entering secure zones. "Surrender the bag." Kinsley shook her head violently, her auburn hair whipping around her shoulders. "No," she whispered, her voice barely audible. Theodore, standing beside her in his standard Earth diplomatic uniform, placed a gentle hand on her shoulder. He was only 18, barely qualified as a junior attach. But he'd been the only human official available when Kinsley had arrived at the station 3 days ago. The main delegation was still weeks away, traveling through slower hyperspace lanes. "Commander," Theodore began carefully, "perhaps we could discuss." "There is nothing to discuss." Human Vragas's eyes glowed amber, a sign of growing irritation. "Security protocols exist for a reason. After the Zethian incident, we take no chances." "The bag now." Kinsley's sobs grew louder. She was only 12 years old, a refugee from one of Earth's outer colonies that had been caught in the crossfire of the Hive War. Theodore had read her file: parents dead, colony destroyed, rescued by a passing merchant vessel, and dropped off at the nearest safe port, which happened to be this Galactic Council station. "She's just a child," Theodore said, his voice firmer now. "She's been through enough. And if that bag contains a biological weapon, a quantum neural parasici." Vraxis stepped forward, his clawed hand extended. "I have seen too many stations fall because someone made an exception. Give me the bag, please." Kinsley whimpered, backing away. "Please don't take them. They're all I have left." The other council members began murmuring among themselves. The crystalline delegate chimed with what might have been sympathy. The insectoid Clixer representative clicked its mandibles impatiently. Vraxis's patience finally broke. With a speed that belied his massive size, he lunged forward and grabbed the bag strap. Kinsley screamed and pulled back, but the Dragon Warrior's strength was absolute. The bag tore open, and then the contents spilled across the pristine council floor. Vraxis screamed. It wasn't a roar of anger or a battle cry. It was a scream of pure, unfiltered anguish that echoed through the chamber and made every being present freeze in shock. The mighty Dragon Warrior, who had fought in the siege of Terminus 7, who had single-handedly held the line at Kragger's gate, fell to his knees. Scattered across the floor were photographs, dozens of them, printed on actual paper, human peculiarity in this age of digital storage. Each one showed smiling faces, a woman with Kinsley's eyes, a bearded man with his arm around the woman, the three of them together at a beach, at a park, in front of a small house with yellow flowers, and toys. Small well-worn toys, a stuffed rabbit with one ear shorter than the other, a wooden horse, hand-carved, its paint chipped from years of play, a child's drawing, carefully folded and unfolded so many times that the creases had begun to tear, stick figures holding hands under a crayon sun. Vraxis picked up one of the photographs with trembling claws, his amber eyes now wet with something no one in the chamber had ever seen before. Dragon Warrior tears. "My daughter," he whispered, his voice broken. "My daughter had toys like these, before the Scourge came to Draconis Prime, before I was away fighting in the outer systems. Before I—" He couldn't finish. The chamber remained silent. Theodore knelt beside Kinsley, helping her gather the precious items. Each photograph, each toy, was handled with the reverence of holy relics, because that's what they were, all that remained of a life that had been incinerated when the Hive Fleet had glassed her colony. Vraxis gently placed the photograph back on the floor, then looked at Kinsley with eyes that finally saw her not as a potential security threat, but as what she was, a child who had lost everything. "I am sorry, little one," he said, his voice gentle in a way that shocked everyone present. I thought I had forgotten how to see such things, how to see the value in ... memories." He began helping gather the items, his massive claws handling each piece with unexpected delicacy. The other council members slowly rose from their seats, several coming forward to assist. "We fight wars," Vraxis continued, speaking as much to himself as to anyone else, "and we forget what we're fighting for. We see threats in every shadow, but these," he held up the stuffed rabbit, "these are not weapons. These are armor against the darkness. These are what make us strong enough to survive." Kinsley, her tears still flowing but her breathing steadier, accepted the rabbit from his hands. "My mum made this for me," she said softly, "when I was scared of the dark." "Then it has already proven its worth," Vraxas replied, "and it will continue to do so." He stood, addressing the entire chamber. "I propose a new protocol. All beings carrying items of personal significance, especially children, will be given priority processing and respect. Their memories are not security risks. They are reasons for security to exist." The vote was unanimous. As Theodore escorted Kinsley to her temporary quarters, her bag now carefully repaired and secured, he glanced back at the council chamber. Vraxas stood there still, staring at his own clawed hands as if seeing them for the first time. Later, Theodore would learn that Vraxas had spent that entire night in the station's archives, searching through old files until he found what he was looking for: records from Draconis Prime, from before the Scourge. And there, preserved in digital amber, were images of a small draconian girl playing with toys not so different from Kinsley's. In a galaxy of warriors and weapons, sometimes the most powerful thing was simply remembering why survival mattered. Kinsley held her rabbit tight and slept without nightmares for the first time in months, and somewhere in the vast darkness of space, humanity's reputation grew a little stronger, not because they were fierce, but because they understood that the smallest, most fragile things were sometimes worth the greatest fights.